Hello again, good morning, good afternoon, probably, or good evening. This is the March the 7th, 1999 edition of Dear Anybody. Letters written by my late father, Jimmy Hodge, who was a journalist in the Medway area of Kent. I'm his son, Kevin, reading one of his letters each day for the coming year. And so far, so good. Today, quite a varied little series of things that my dad talked about today. First one, he was talking about budget day. And apparently cigarettes were going to go up, which he wasn't too worried about. Petrol was going to go up, which he didn't seem too bothered about. No other great revelations about the budget, but certainly he said £10 of petrol lasted him a fortnight. Not quite sure that would be able to be done in 2025, but who knows. Dad was saying about the news of the world, which was still in existence then, and pictures of Sophie Rhys-Jones, Prince Edward's, she was going to be married later in the summer, and she was frantically trying to pin down some perhaps not so flattering pictures of herself, which she wanted to sort of try and get off the air before she got married. I'm guessing that would be far more difficult now. They'd already be published and around the world 10 times before you could even blink, I think, but apparently that was something to behold. It did bring back a memory for Dad, though. I do remember him talking about this. The notorious sad lady Myra Hindley, not sure which she would be called sad or evil, but she was actually imprisoned at a place called Cockenwood. I always knew it as Ballstall, but I think it was the name of the area. But Cockenwood Ladies Prison in Rochester, I think, was the final resting place of Myra Hindley, who killed some children, I think, earlier in the 60s, I think it would have been. And she ended up there. And it reminded him that in fact, Dad had been offered absolutely thousands of pounds for one picture of her, one current picture. And given that newspaper men always had, I suppose, contacts, I think you'd say, he did know someone at Cockenwood and could have got a picture of her. However, it was fairly obvious that, who would it have been taking them, and that person's livelihood and pension no doubt would have been out the window instantly, so it never happened. But if he could have got one, anecdotally, he would have been a rich man. So he was talking about that. He reckoned it was 17 years since the Falklands War, and I remember, very small anecdote of mine, I was a young enthusiastic PE teacher at a small school in Dover, and I was in charge of the football team. And guess what? The team needed a new kit. Well, there was in a local hotel, as what seemed to happen then, there was a sort of cheap sale of sports equipment, and I went along with my headmaster's checkbook, only to find 12 lovely, shiny new kit tops and shiny bottoms and lovely socks, and I bought 10, 12, can't remember, they're 14 I think, at a very knockdown price, only to realise after they'd walked onto the pitch for the first time it was actually the Argentinian kit. And how on earth you could make such a mistake as that, Kev? I put my hands up, but no, I don't think anyone, to my face anyway, actually blinked, which was remarkable, really, because if you think about it today, I'm sure I'd have been sacked on the spot for, getting sort of Russian kit for my kids, or in that case, Argentinian kit. I mean, thank goodness we defeated them, but, all running out. Beautiful kit, looked lovely, but it was Argentinian kit. So that was a bit of a funny story. Dad, however, said he was interviewing families, some of whom came from the Medway area, apparently, and some of his reporters came back in tears from interviewing families, so that was a bit sad. Last thing, Sunday papers. He said the news of the world and the Daily Mail, or Sunday Mail as it would have been, had between them 518 pages. Not sure that'd be quite the case today, but certainly the thick papers on Sundays, weren't they? And the Times, with its 15 supplements, would probably take the biscuit now. But he was saying it's funny how paper boys would lug around those on a Sunday morning, probably getting shorter in the process. Anyway, that was Sunday, I think, for him. No, not Sunday. Yeah, it probably might have been Sunday, the 7th of March in 1999. And I hope you enjoyed that. And take care. There you go. Take care. Bye.